afternoon. It is Thursday, June the 9th, 2022, and you have joined in with Lois Friend at Stamping with a Friend. And I just wanted to go over our June club projects. We made 3 cards. And before I put things away, I thought I'd like to share with you the projects. I'm going to be making one of the projects. It's a fun fold, and I've really been enjoying the fun folds and the different folds. It's amazing what's available. I wish I could say that they were my original designs, but they're not. I get on Pinterest and watch other demonstrators at various sites, and that's how I come up with my projects for my club dates. So the first one that we did was the card is made with In the Moments stamp set, and it is in the annual catalog. And this was just a real quick and simple technique, but just because it was quick and simple doesn't mean it's not beautiful. I tend to go for the styles of more simple, simplistic. I tend to not go too over the top. Not because I don't like them, it's just that's not my style. But this was a easy card, and the girls all seemed to like it, and you could do however you want to. There are 3 images of relaxation. Every one of them just looked like they were relaxed. And I chose this design, but several of the girls changed theirs up, and they did different designs, and they were all beautiful. And it was done simply with stamping the image in the Memento Black, and then we used our watercolor pencils. I let them they design the colors, everything that they want, and then they softened the colors with our blender pens. It was very basic, but the girls really seemed to like it. So that was card number 1. And then card number 2 was from our Grassy Grove suite. And this is getting off the camera there. This is a particular favorite of mine, and we used the Grassy Grove bundle that includes the stamp set and the die cuts. And of course, this black around here and the deer is part of the die cut set. Now, the background image that I used is from the New Horizons Designer Series paper. And unfortunately, that is no longer available. That is in our retiring catalog, and it was while supplies lasted, and the supplies have been exhausted. And I'm really sad to see this one go. As I told my club folks, there's not a bad piece in the stack, but sadly it is going. And there again, that was a very quick card, and it could be used for any occasion. I think some of the girls were going to use it for Father's Day, some were going to use it for sympathy cards, and it was just a real quick and easy card. I told the girls that I had some back problems, and so the one card I had designed, the one I'm going to be showing you how to do, I had that designed weeks before club. And then my back went out, so the last 2 cards tended to be a little bit more simplistic. So I do want to, before we get started designing the card, I do want to mention that this January to June catalog will be expiring the end of June. And I had some last chance items, and they are while supplies last, as I noted. And so if you want to order, you need to do so right away while you can still get some of the products. Some of the stamp sets are around. The Designer Series paper tends to sell out quickly, and some of the embellishments and things. But most generally, you can get the stamp sets, but not always. So if there's something a must-have or that you really wanted on your wish list and you haven't got it, this is the last call. You need to get it ordered. And you can go to my online store at loisfriend.stampinup.net. If you don't have already a demonstrator, an active demonstrator, I would love for you to choose me as your demonstrator. And but do it quick for this catalog. But there's always a happy silver lining, because there are new books coming out, new catalogs for July to December. And of course that will feature our Christmas and new fall and Christmas stamp sets and paper. I personally don't have my catalog in my hands yet, but I have seen it on the on our demonstrator website. I have seen it. And there's some really neat new stuff coming out. So look forward to that. If you don't regularly get a catalog from me and you would like to have one, just let me know. You can email me at loisfriend@gmail.com and I'll get one sent to you. I have a supply coming and I will get them sent out as soon as I possibly can. So with that said, I think that's all the housekeeping. We are going to do this little pop-up card, little ladybug, and this stamp set is available. The stamp set and the punch are available, and they are currently in the January to June book. They are currently a bundle. It will still be available it's still in our annual catalog. However, you lose the bundle price if you don't get it prior to June 30th. So I just thought this card, I told everyone that I designed this card just because it made me happy. It's just a real cute little card, and who wouldn't smile getting that card? It's a pop-up explosion card, and I watched several demonstrators and I saw several techniques of how to do it, and I think I came up with one that is fairly user-friendly. So we'll get started. We're going to do the front first, and I've combined a couple of stamp sets. I'm using our Hello Ladybug for all the ladybug and the flowers. And then I'm also using the Biggest Wish. And this is a really favorite of mine. This is a go-to set. I use this a lot in my classes and personally. You can do a lot with it. So we're going to use those two stamp sets and we're going to get started. All right. So for the card front, I'm going to do the sentiment first, because that is generally, if I'm going to mess up with something or have a whoops or an uh-oh, that's generally where I have it. So, and because these are the photopolymer stamps, I like to put something underneath to give you a good, crisp, clean image. It helps. I'll just test it over here to make sure. Yep. Little happy. All right. Clean the happy off with our chamois. And then the birthday, I'm using the black memento. and you can arrange it however. I'm above the camera, so I'm trying to make sure my hands are in the camera so you can see what I'm doing. There you go. Pretty good. All right. Okay, I'm going to, the leaf, I have Pear Pizzazz paper, and then I'm going to do ink on ink, color on color. And I'll do the stamp the leaf. Now there is not a punch for this, so therefore you will fussy cut the leaf out. And in the essence of time, I already have one cut out. So, and I like to take the edges and use our bone folder. Just kind of, it softens those edges and it makes it look more natural. And I'm going to use some of our Pop Dots, dimensionals, and pop that up just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a three-dimensional look. And I'm going to stamp that there. Now, for placement, I did that, and now I'm going to stamp some flowers in the Mango Melody. I can't talk this afternoon. And there's nothing precise. You don't have to be that precise or anything. I just stamped them. Got a little bit light. I should have used my Stamparatus, and then I wouldn't have had that problem. Okay, now we're going to do our little ladybug. And it's very simple. The body of the bug is done in the base, is punched in the basic black. And the wings in real red. And I know I always tell my stampers that I tend to stamp and then punch or die cut, but on this, for placement of the dots or the speckles or whatever, I decided to do, I would punch first because it's easier to get the placement. Okay, and again, I used black Memento ink for the spots. And then you just put it on there. You can use tape or glue or whatever your adhesive of your choice. This little silicone sheet helps. That way you don't get glue or adhesive everywhere. And then you can pop dot him or glue him on. I think I did it directly. Okay. And there you have the card front. And I will put all the dimensions of all of the pieces. I will put them in the comments underneath the video when underneath when I load it up. And then we want to add some of our rhinestone basic jewels. I'm going to add some of those to the centers of the flowers just to give it a little bit of sparkle. And you can add as many as you want. And as I've mentioned before, if you're using our alcohol markers, you can color these before you put them on. It works better if you color them before you put them on, and they will match. You can color them whatever color you want, but you have to use the alcohol markers because that will stay on. Our regular markers won't work. So now we have our card front and a piece of basic black, and I'll just attach that. I should have attached it probably before I put the embellishments on, but I think it's almost straight. How about that? All right, now for your inside, we're going to take and we're going to make our own designer series paper. I do that a lot, especially when I'm doing a class, because I oftentimes don't have enough. So I'm using our basic white, and I'll just stamp a design. It doesn't have to be the same as mine. It doesn't even, each sheet doesn't even have to match. Okay, now I'm going to fill that in with flowers. Oops. That was a little whoops, but we can cover that up, I think. Put as many or as few as you want. There's no right or wrong way. Okay, now that is that. And then for the pieces inside the explosion, you have to remember when you're doing this, you're doing these from point to point because they are going to go in like that. So you have to keep that in mind when you're stamping. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this cute little ladybug. It's two-step stamping, and I think that is just the cutest little thing. It's very easy. The first, I'm going to stamp this with Memento Black. Make sure I've got it and position it. And again, like I said, remember it goes from point to point to point. Got his little body, and then this piece I will stamp in the red, and you just line the dots up. I hope I can do this. Like I'm standing above the camera. Whoops. And I forgot to, I'm going to turn it over because there are two sides to the cardstock. So we're going to do this over. You get to see it twice. Now I need to make sure that I get, this happens sometimes when I use blocks that are just a little bit too big. So I'm going to switch to a smaller block and try this again. It's not bad, not exactly, but I think it'll be fine. All right, then I'll add some more flowers. Add some flowers to this piece. And I want to do my sentiment. And this says, "May your greatest wish come true." And put this one down here. My friend. Then I'll add some more green leaves. My fingers are red because somehow I can't manage to stamp without getting my fingers in the ink. But as I always say, when I have ink on my fingers at the end of the day, that means it's been a great day, because it means I've spent some time in my stamp room. All right, so that is that. We've got all of the pieces stamped. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create our explosion. And as I noted, I will have the dimensions on the comments, in the comments below. But this is a 6x6 piece of Designer Series paper. And we'll just fold it in half. And make sure you burnish it well. Fold it in half again. And fold it from corner to corner, just one time. Now, you fold the points in and you square out. And that's really all it is to it. So now we're going to assemble our card. This is 4¼ by 11, and it's scored at 5½. And do the inside. We are going to attach this to the top. Okay. Now, I went to the point. Make sure you're within the insides of the card. You don't want that sticking out. And you can use either side of the designer series paper. If you don't like the way it looks, then just flip it around. I got mine, I think I got it actually backwards from what I wanted, but it will be fine. And then I'm going to put this right there. This down here. See, no one's going to know that this is back there. And then I'm going to put this right here on the front. And if you would want to, because I used this, and you could color these flowers if you want to, but it's fine the way it is. Probably if I was watching what I was doing, I got it backwards. I would have probably put this on this piece on the front, but I got twisted around, as I do when I get on camera because I get really nervous. But anyway, that is. So you have, and there you go. It's a pop explosion. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I've been playing around with it, and I've got these pieces like this laying around everywhere because I was practicing, and now I have all of these pop-ups that I can make and use for different occasions and different card fronts. So that is everything I have today. I thank you for watching me. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comments or comment, however. Please be kind. I do ask that you be kind, but I would love to hear from you all, and I would love to see your creations. If you are on Facebook, you can find me at Lois Friend from Heart and Hands. And until next time, thank you for joining me. Have a great evening, and I will talk to you again soon. Thank you.